Hello, Sarah. There you go. I'm just inviting a few people, girlfriend. You should invite a couple of people too. Let's rock this house. Give me a second. I'm so excited, Mama, that you are doing this. This makes my heart sing. It rocks my socks. Okay. So I'm inviting a bunch of people. I can't even see who I'm inviting in my head, but I think that it rocks this way. Why are you not wearing your glasses, you might say? I tell you why, because part of healing and part of what we are doing that the body can heal, I am moving away from the dependency and I'm actually working it, but I will put them on when I have to. But I think this is a great strengthening because we're coming at you all to heal, but we want to give you the information so you could understand that the evidence is true and real. I think that Facebook now is really cracking down because I see an observation that those who are on more that have the algorithm in their favor, they are also doing much less. So, but whether there's one, etc., so on, whoever is on here is meant to be on here. Isn't that great though? Okay. Richard, that, we're rocking and rolling and we're on the same page. So we're going to continue our conversation about healing. But in tonight's discussion, I'm bringing Sarah back. And Sarah's going to tell you for herself whether the meditation worked or not, what was the strong points, what were the weaker points, where did it come together for her. And when we go back and forth with this, I'm also going to join in and ask more questions, give more tips. Then we're going to go on to the second part because this could be continuous. And yeah, I think it's a great thing to be able to work the temple, because what is the temple? The temple inside you. And all kinds of things are going to happen, and each person heals differently. But the method is foolproof because it's a basis of starting, and then we could go all different facets with this. So let me bring Sarah on, and I'm going to bring you on camera now, girlfriend. Okay. Send invite. Okay. I sent it, my love. So this is a very cool thing that I think that we're participating in because it's live. It's something that you could do. And as you are doing it, you could also, here you go, join in for your results, with your results rather. There you go. Hello, beautiful.
Hello, love.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you
Can
hear
you
me
hear
better?
me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's always a little low in here for some reason. I don't know why. Like this sound on this live chat, I noticed that when we do it like this, for some reason on my end, I can
Well,
never hear 100%.
I know. Every time I connect with somebody else, there's always some kind of something, and I'm just like, whatever,
We
we'll work
get
through
through
it.
it, and that's a
Yeah,
good thing. How you rocking and rolling, Mom? Everything good?
I'm good. I'm just relaxing. I'm just relaxing. Today was a really long day. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing the same. It was a long day for me too.
Mhm.
So I think it's great that you're joining me with this because this is evidence and this is what we want to do because you know why? even though healing is a process and so many things are going to come up, I think for so long we bought into things where there was no concrete evidence because we were sold a story or a certain narrative or a certain way of doing things. And as this was being presented to us, it's never concrete. But to do this and have concrete results with deviation, because there is a little deviation, because certain things come up for other people that maybe won't come up for you. And really, though, the basis is that it is a starting point. So tell me, did you do the meditation?
Yeah, I have been doing a lot, and it is a really good starting point for a lot of people. Um, so, I just kept it as simple as I could, right? So you said at night when you lay down in bed, right before you're about to pass out, just go ahead and go through it. And like I was telling everybody, it's like 5 minutes. Like you can take 5 minutes, you can take 12, 13, 14 deep breaths and just go. Um, and so at first I was doing it at night, and then I liked it so much that I did it in the morning when I woke up because it felt really good. And then I started to use it with my mini, right? So she just started gymnastics and she's been getting like growing pains, like cramps in her legs and stuff. And so it's like at the end of the night when everything winds down, she would always be crying like about her legs are kind of like sore and just, like rustling them around and just really uncomfortable. And I said, I want you to try something with me. I said, I just want you to, just how you said it to me, just like super simple. I want you to just take deep breaths, and mommy's going to say, breathe into your brain and breathe out of your brain, and breathe into your nose and breathe out of your nose. And I would sit there and I would do it with her. And I swear to you, she just like fades like right off into like this super great dreamland. And it has been so great. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And this is the beginning because in order for us to connect with our temple, and let's talk about that. What is our temple? Our temple is our body, right?
Yeah.
And we all have heard the saying, the kingdom is in our body, the kingdom is inside, and that's our temple. But how many people really know what that is? It took me a very, very long time to go through this process to begin to understand it. And like I told you, in the last 2 years, it's like everything now is mastery. And that does not take away from my humanness, that does not take
No.
away from my quirks, but my spirit life, healing within is something that we should be able to master on earth, because everybody is promised the kingdom, or so they think when they leave that place. But I've been over the scriptures and the scrolls, and no, we're supposed to have that while we're here.
Here.
It's never been said that you have to pass on in order to understand the temple of God within you. So
Yes.
another thing that happens with this meditation, and this might happen, I don't know if you ever catch yourself, because I know it happens to me at some points. Um, so no matter how strong-minded you are, and no matter how you're healing, in the process, in the beginning, when everybody begins this process, what is the one thing that happens that deter people, even though the meditation relaxes them and they're getting acquainted? I would say it's fear. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, it's fear, but it comes in weird forms, right? So it's like it's fear, but it comes in as I'm too busy. It's fear, but it comes in as like I'm just exhausted. I'll do it tomorrow. Um, it's fear, but it's like, oh, I just really been through a lot today, and that's just really silly shit. And so
Stop
it's
right there. I just really been through a lot today. Let's focus on that on 1 minute, okay? Because when we focus on that, what happens to people? Because now we're taking this general exercise, but we're going to show our people, our brothers and sisters that are really transforming and understand about the phonetics of energy, meaning that you know it's energetic because your fears push a certain energy,
Yeah.
your mental status pushes a certain energy. But to use this meditation, and for the people who are experiencing fear on many different levels, what would be the first thing that would deter you? Your thought process, right?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So now, for me, for example, I'm going to get very raw and very, very live. Not even to say live, very raw and very real, but with style and grace, because this is really happening to people. And we want to show you that this is how you begin.
Yeah.
This is, I guarantee you, if you are serious, you will begin to get it, and you won't be searching for people quelling your fear. So for me, when I started to do the meditations, and when I started to really go deep, one of my fears in my mind that distract me is the children, because I would have these thought processes, this thought process as I was healing, that fear would jump in because now I think of the children, what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a normal thing that you have already been thinking about, really one of the things of why you need to meditate.
So I want to change this around because I want to heal from that, because I know that the reality is that this is occurring.
Yeah.
However, I can't let the thought process of my mind take over, because that's not healing to my mind, because that will create anxiety, because there's a lot of things that go along with it. I'm using this as one example, guys.
Yeah.
This is something that you have to tailor make to your own fears that you have, because fears now that deter us from healing come from our traumas, our abuses, our quirks, all
Yeah.
those things that cause our mental mind to
I don't know.
fail us, because it
Yeah.
does fail us, guys, when we're in that.
Mhm.
And as I was going through these scrolls, and as I'm listening to things that are going on now, this has happened in over a period of years. This is why I could speak about it so smoothly and not fumble with it, because I guarantee you the evidence is there. But I'll also tell you it will not be something that will happen overnight. We don't guarantee
No.
overnight. We do guarantee results.
Yeah. Immediate results too. You definitely get, there's immediate results, then there's daily now results, and then there's long-term results.
So this week, what I would like you to do, and I did it, and I could attest to it, but one person attesting is not enough, because there's too much nonsense out there. You attesting is the mustard seeds growing. You teaching others is more mustard seeds that are planted, and before you know it, we have a whole acre out there, and it
Yeah.
keeps going. So we have to change the thought process. And changing the thought process begins with us changing our mindset. So immediately when I began to think of the things that would freak me out and infuriate me about the children, because now you know what's happening out there. And then we all have families, and we have children in our families, and then we don't want to become paranoid to the point that we over smother, because that is not helping anybody.
No.
So I changed my thought pattern. And when I would think of, and I'll go raw,
Good.
because I think that sometimes we have to be shocked. When I would think of those Podesta tapes, what I witnessed on the dark web, I would have to change the mental picture in my mind. Now, changing the mental picture is something that you create, whether it is healing from the situation, a child, whether it is putting that child or yourself in a place where you avert the negativity. Are you with me so far?
I am.
Okay. I began to let go of the fear, because that's some fearful stuff, knowing that this stuff is going on, right?
Yeah.
And I began to think clearer with an action where it'll always be something that I will not be comfortable with, but the clearer thoughts allow me to put the action and the goal in place, and that's raising awareness without losing my cool. Stepping into action when I need to step into action. Now, this could go to for people who have been sexually abused and have felt that, and the inner child comes out in you, or people who have been put down a lot by their families, right? So the meditation puts you in a place where you are opening the channels, because we're not telling you not to fear, but we're telling you that as that fear comes along with you breathing, because by the way, once you get into this meditation, you could do it anywhere. You could command it.
Yeah.
Because it's that simple, guys. It really is that simple.
And you can even command it like into others too. Like, so that's one of the things that for probably about the past like 2 or 3 days, I do healing work out here. It is a really crazy time for people that are doing healing work and things like that. And so, if somebody gets a little bit sick, they're calling me like, I'm gonna die and all this stuff. And
Yes.
so like immediately, like now that I've been doing this like a lot more, I've been really adding it in. I'm like, hold on a second. And so it kind of just goes like right with my distance energy work. It's just like, let's just breathe together. And like as we're breathing, I'm like, just imagine us going like from the top of your spine, like to your bottom of your spine. And like literally in like 5 minutes, they're like, I'm sick, I need some tea, and I need some sleep. And I'll talk to you in a little bit. And I'm
You have
like,
your notebook?
I
I'm going
know,
to give you something else.
I do. I I do. Let me see if this one has any paper. Oh, it
So last time I gave a little tidbit on
does.
calling I am, right? Because the Holy One, Yah, Jehovah. Now, guys, I have to be clear about something. When I use the word Jehovah, it has nothing to do with Jehovah Witnesses. Please don't get it confused. This is in the ancient text that you can find through the Israelite text, which is the Kabbalah or the Torah, the Gnostic texts, the Sumerian, the Greeks, okay? It is a translation. Yes, we understand that there is an organization that is called the Jehovah Witnesses and is considered to some cult-like. This has nothing to do with that. We're looking for the tone. These are translations. That's why it's Elohim, El Shem, Jehovah. Do you see the similarities that
Yeah.
in the tone in a certain pitch? Jah. We want you to get acquainted with that and use the word that is most comfortable for you, because as you use the word, healing and sounds is very important in what we do. And as you connect with this rhythm, if you do this every day, you have to do this by yourself. Sometimes people must think I'm nuts in my car because I'm going, yeah, and I'm doing it along because I'm finding the rhythm that works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you could read something, but you're like, well, I have to work it to understand it.
Yeah.
So Yah, Jehovah, Elohim, you hear the emphasis, and whatever works with you, you will make this the connection to the God inside your temple. Because now, what is God inside your temple? We're all gods, right? For me, I have to know, and I have to give evidence. And although there is trial and error, it is something that we could really do, because I guarantee you, if you're serious and if you're a spiritual person and if you're looking to make a change in your life and you've had trauma and you are healing these things, if you work them every single day, you will understand the connection. So what's supposed to happen when you do that, and what does happen, but for me it took a while to find my own harmonic, rhythm that allows me to feel it throughout my whole body. Because now this is your connection, this is your frequency. And and at first I was like, I don't know about this one. Seems a little far-fetched to me. Because I'm very honest, you know? And I was like, I can't get it. Then I realized why I wasn't getting, because the vibration when I was emphasizing wasn't there. So I want you to try that, but I want you to put that on the back burner. That's oral, something that we could talk about. I
Okay.
don't want you to think that this is most that there's a deadline on that, because that you only perfect.
Yeah, and
But
I've
when
been
you're
messing with that
healing,
a little bit.
this is where you will begin to feel it, because now you will connect in with the kingdom inside, and that would be the Elohim, the God, the creator of all. I am who I am, because that's really what that means. And
Yeah.
you are going to have this personal conversation. And you
Yeah,
are
and I've
going
been
to,
noticing it's like an instrument too. So like it feels weird. Like the first thing I'm gonna say is it feels really weird to say those sounds.
yes, very weird.
Even like just being in my house and like no one being around. But one thing that I noticed right away is I could feel it in my solar plexus.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like a strengthening type thing. Like I don't know, it's kind of
Like something like a vibrate, like this weird vibration, right?
yeah, and it's like vocal sit-ups or something, right?
Yeah.
And but then I noticed like I've always had like throat things, like things with my throat, and um it's always been very hard for me to like express things, right? And so
Me too.
people don't think so because I have Facebook videos and all of these whatevers. But what I've noticed in this is like I still have not like practiced it, and like really to be honest, I don't even want to say it right now, but like as I say it with myself and as I find like that flow like with myself, when it's like in tune, when the solar plexus is in tune with that throat and that tone hits, like it feels like a cough drop and a I don't know, like it just and like my muscles in my throat just feel so like loosened up and
You
like
have to like practice, right? At first, it almost feels like it's cracking in there, right? And that
yeah,
still happens to me.
yeah, and like really
Yes,
like
because we're breaking out of that now. And what
yeah,
we're doing is we're letting it's actually like, how can I explain it? Like bagpipes that haven't been used for a
tuned
long
up.
time, and you see people like play them and all the smoke is coming out of them before it
Yeah,
actually that's exactly what it's like. That's the best way that I could explain it, guys.
yeah, and
But
even sometimes like I'll have like an extra like 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 an extra like letter kind of will like come out at the end. Like it's really neat. But I think that that's really helpful. So like my work that I do is release, right? And even though like I help do release work, there's still a lot I have to learn about it. And so that is one of the I'm really liking that with release, like that release and that sound, like you're actually like releasing that from your temple. Yeah.
um, ja. So it really is, because the name of God has been so far removed. And when we are talking about God, it's spirit, it's energy, right? We're in the finite. We have we have the ability to bring the God in us. So that really is very deep. So when people, but what happens is that people don't want to do the work, they become lazy, and they listen to other people, and it will never be effective for them because they will never understand the vibration of self. So when you
Yeah.
are using the word Elohim, Jehovah, it is the magic of the word that connects inside. Now, guys, you probably saying she doesn't know what she's talking about. I do. I do. I'm putting myself on the line here because I know what people are capable of doing to other people. And I feel that putting myself on the line is what I'm meant to do to push it forward, because one mustard seed is going to happen, another mustard seed is going to be planted, and we will have the evidence out there. So
Yeah.
now I want you to write this down.
Okay.
Were you doing a meditation?
Yeah, I'll do it.
So write this down. You're going to call on the magic word, because that's what we're going to call it, the magic word. And it
Okay.
is in the scriptures, by the way. It's in the scrolls, it's in this, it's in that. You have to understand how to pull it out, even when you read the Verda. You have to understand how to pull it out and what man has tainted over it, because they corrupted,
Yeah.
they violated our law. And people don't want to say that because it is responsibility then. But I'm going to give you, we're going to use this for healing for this particular, I'll give you one for this, because you say that people call you when they're sick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you are using this, when you are in your your work, my body is the temple of either Elohim, Jehovah, Jah, the one that created all. And in my temple, there is no sickness. In my temple, I am, you repeat the name. I use the name Jehovah and Jah and El Shem, right? Because it's just that vibration comes out easier with my words that twist, right? In the kingdom, well, there is no sickness. I am. Again, you use I will call it the magic word, God, Jehovah, Elohim. I am, right? Because what you are saying now, you are connecting with source from the kingdom inside. You have to practice this, guys. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you. What happens is when we do this, this is another form of changing your thoughts. So the fear, because what happens, they're calling you up, they're dying, they have fear. They have fear because they're coughing, right? This is fear. They're changing the mental picture, but not only are they changing the mental picture in their mind, they are calling the kingdom inside. Now, guys, if you really believe that there is that connection and that frequency, then this does not sound silly. If
Yeah.
you have doubt, we're gonna teach you how to quill doubt. Because what happens is, and I do need my glasses for this because I do write notes a little bit too. What's the first thing we said we do when a problem arises? The first thing that we have to do as we are using this technique is to remove the fear and doubt and replace it with faith that leads towards an action. You could write that down too, because the action is the step you take after you work through the scary part, right? because it is the scary part.
Yeah, and it does, and it feels weird, and it feels like all kind of really weird things. But I mean, you're talking to me in frequency. It's funny because it's way different than how I talk. But like everything that you're saying, I mean, it just goes along with everything I've been learning. So that's what I want to say real quick, to the people who are like already doing energy work and already doing healing work and already doing all these big, really major things, like thank you for your work on the planet. But
Yeah.
like in my work of help the helpers, us people that are helpers and our teachers and our Reiki masters and are all of these different things, sometimes we get so far off in things that we forget the simplicity of breathing into all the spaces in us. But to bring this tone and bring this up in us, like we're so busy out here teaching it that we're like one of the most guilty ones of just being like, I don't have enough time. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. And and that's the worst because people really do call me in droves and I work on people in droves. And so if there is anyone out here that needs to do this kind of thing every day, it is the teachers and it is the healers and it is you if you are doing this work. So please don't think that this is just for like people that don't know. This is a really great reminder for people that do know and haven't really been connecting to this for a long time either.
You have to do this every single day,
You have to do it every single day.
no
And
matter
it's
what.
okay
You
if you
have to
fall
find some
off.
sort. Now, of course, there are days that, human beings shut it off because, a lot happens. But if you don't connect with the kingdom inside, the God within, do you really want to know what the God within is? You must work it. I cannot do the
Every
work for
day.
you. Sarah cannot do the work for you. We could assist you and we could turn around and tell you that no matter who you go to, if they could pray for you every single day, they can guarantee you that you're going to be healed tomorrow. They can guarantee you that your pineal gland is going to be open for them. That is a lie.
There's a lie.
You are stepping into something because maybe you really don't want to know. Maybe you believe these people have powers that you don't. Maybe you think that because they do know what they're doing, and there's some amazing people out there.
Yeah,
Amazing.
there is. Mhm.
But you must know who the actors and actresses are, and you must understand that when the evidence is there and you're putting it on the line, you're going to rouse a lot of demons too.
Yeah,
Don't be afraid because those demons only get irritated because once we teach you the power of it, we are guaranteeing you that you will change for yourself. And all
yeah,
those former things do fall away.
yeah,
Again, we are doing it because our time is short right now. We
yeah,
must put it out there. We must teach it because there's too many people that are allowing others to fall in the abyss from greed. And this is the greatest. I don't know.
yeah. Well, and that's why I love whenever you were, talking to me and saying like, do you want to get out and do Zooms and really like be with the people and like really break this down because that is really what I want to do because there is so much stuff that's so great, but there's so many people that really just need to get back to the simple basics. They went so far out into the galaxy that Earth, being human, being a mother, being an employee, being whatever it is that they be is like so hard. And so if you are having a hard time being a mom, if you're having a hard time paying your bills, if you're having a hard time keeping your house clean, with relationships in your family and in your friendships, these are the things that you can start to do right now to start to really make shifts in the long run for all of those things. It's not saying that hey, go breathe tonight and you're going to get $1 million and your
No, and
soulmate's
that's
going to come
what
in.
people expect. What's the first? If you ask people, and we talked about it. I don't know if I talked about it with you or I did it on a live that I was doing solo. But if you ask people what is the first thing that is most important to you, their possessions, their financial wealth, etc., so on.
Yeah.
But you'll never hear them say, my self-care, right?
Yeah.
Because your self-care is really what allows you
To
time,
do all that stuff.
right? The time, the knowledge. Because if you're extending yourself where you're healing and you're taking care of yourself, you are extending some sort of longevity. So if you do that, what happens is that you get to work on the things you need to work on without feeling that stress that you're under a time limit.
Right. Well,
Now,
and just like you were
and
saying,
I think that what happens is that we like to hear other people's story, and we don't want to do the work because we want to be promised that everything that we long for is maybe somewhere else, because we're not happy on this planet and many people are not. So we want
yeah,
to replace that, and we want to lead you towards your own fulfillment. Because I say, fuck that shit. If we
yeah,
could do
yeah.
it, let's do it. What do I care if I step on a few toes?
People's
What
toes.
do I
Right.
care who don't like me? Oh, who cares about that?
Well,
Look, I'm not caught up in all that, because the thing is that I know that you will fall out with people. I know that things change. I know that healing is a process. I know there's phony people, but am I so on point? Because I do this. Because I don't rely on the people. I rely on the kingdom inside. Even
well,
like in
and
my
this
own family,
information
if I
is
don't like
forever.
stuff that's going on, I'm like, later with that. That is not going down here. Now, does that mean that I erased all the things that led me here? What it means is all the things that led me here that were the cause of my own pain and suffering, I can realistically
Grab a
um,
hold
face it
and grab
within
it.
my own mind's eye, my own independence,
Yep.
and I could see it now from a different point of view.
Yeah.
My own healing, why I attract people that have mother issues, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it straight out.
Me
And what
too.
I have learned and how I have released it and let it go. Maybe it was because there was an abandonment I felt in my own mother's womb that I
Yeah.
wasn't even aware of. And I know that that is true because I understand my mother's own pain now, and when
Yeah.
her own life took a different turn, and she was the most humblest woman that you would ever meet. But the
Right.
thing is that her relationship, when it broke up, it stunted her, and I was in that womb, and maybe I was reaching, and maybe because that care or that abandonment led me to attract people with mother issues, and how I've gotten better, and how it taught me that you cannot fix everything for everybody,
No.
and you have to have boundaries. But then you have to look at, why did you overly care, and why did you allow that?
Yeah.
Because it was your own healing that you needed to recognize, and now you could walk away from things that don't serve you, instead of feeling, oh my God, they have these issues, I want to show people I understand.
Yeah.
You have to learn these things in this healing process, because if you don't learn them, then what happens is that you're stuck in the matrix, and people won't say the truth about it, because what happens is that you feel you're an oddball, because you think that you have met the spiritual saving of self, but you're looking for it everywhere but
In your mind.
inside.
Right. And like sometimes, it's not as clear, like how you said, like about why do I attract women with mother issues? And so, like, say for me, for instance, right? So, one of the things that I'm really trying to learn how to do is relax. Like, I'm really trying to learn how to, like, relax, be still, right? And so I worked all night last night. I got 2.5 hours of sleep. I got up. I got to have a great afternoon with my best friend. The sun came out. We went to the bakery. We went and helped our friend get groceries. It was like some great things, right? Went to today's my grandma's birthday. She's
Oh, happy birthday,
83.
Granny.
She just moved home from Ireland, but now here I am and I'm in the bed doing the video with you, right? So like as far as like my rest lesson goes, did I get that today? No, right? But what I did do in that is I did the meditation last night before I went to sleep. I was so tired. I had no energy left in me and I hit it all, right? In the morning when I woke up, I was like, oh no, like I seriously just like wrapped up in the blankets and now I'm up already. Before I even got up or tried to say anything to anybody, I hit it. And so I didn't really pass that like lesson. That wasn't like a woo super win, right? But
Mm-hmm.
in another sense it is a super win because like even though I didn't rest per se, maybe that isn't what I was supposed to do. Maybe I was supposed to go kind of push through it and enjoy the day because I haven't had fun either in a really long time. So fun is one of the things that I'm trying to add into my life. And
And it's
so
healing.
yeah, and I did have fun today. And I
See, it's a
really
great
did.
thing. And the reason I turn my lights off, because this is a dark room, is because there are no tricks here. The glow is real. You cannot
Yeah.
have this glow if it's not real.
Mm-mm.
Lighting, because again, this is a dark room. However, I know people do a lot of tricks with the lights, and I'm like, oh, that's friggin', when you're understand the camera, you understand Photoshop, right? So
Yeah.
I want to show the evidence because it's real. You
Yeah.
shine. There's
And you
this
feel it. You feel it when you're
feel it.
tired. You feel it when you're overwhelmed. Like today I had to do 55 different things and then last minute our friend needed help and like there were so many times like just today throughout the day where I'm like, how am I going to finish this all? How am I going to complete this all? How are all these tasks? And that's what a busy mind, that's what a busy mind does. A busy mind is always like
Overthinking.
thinking, overthinking. And even though I'm learning to be in my now moments, that mom in me, that brain in me is like, okay, and I got to pick her up at 3:30 and then we got to go get the cake and then we got to go up to the dinner and even if you don't do like the 12 spaces, if you can just catch yourself in that moment of and this is what I've been doing lately and this is what this meditation has been helping me do is just to say, hold on a second. Take a deep breath. I don't have to rush. It's going to work out. Whatever gets done. Whatever doesn't get done, get done. And like, and then on top of it all, you're like, hey, do you want to do a video in an hour? And I'm like, yeah, I'll be home. Like,
Yes.
so it's like things happen that like, if I would have tried or if I wouldn't have taken that time to breathe and let my mind just take me all over the place, like I would have been so exhausted that I would have missed this. And so it's like multiple lessons at the same time, not really getting caught up on any one and just keep going back into self and reminder of self and like, all right, I
I'm
did it.
living, I'm breathing, I'm spirit, I'm
Yeah,
connected.
I'm
Now, are
not
people going to
perfect.
get very mad at me for doing this? Probably. Because
Yeah,
what'll happen is not by my hand, by your own hand. You will step away from the things that do not serve you and you will work it yourself.
yeah,
And what will happen is that you could attest. Sister Teresa did say the truth. Sister Sarah said the truth.
yeah.
Joe Blow from Skokomo said the truth. And then you could look people in the eye and you could say, why do you blaspheme our people? This is blasphemy for our
It
people. And I
is,
know that word sounds very ancient and
but
very,
it is.
oh, what is it? No, it's the truth. You're
Yeah,
lying to the people that deserve This is
to
our
know.
birthright.
It's
There
our
is no
birthright.
reason why that abundance, good health, spiritual connection,
Information,
information,
knowledge, wisdom.
knowledge,
I know.
kindness,
Yeah.
love, sharing should not be
Be for
within our
everybody.
repertoire. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it should
Yeah.
be.
Well, and I
But
want to
people
put
make
something
a
out there.
choice to lie
I want to put
and
something
to
out there
trick
real quick.
humanity.
So a lot of people that I talk to throughout the day, they're having these big choices come up in their lives. And I know because like even though I do all kind of really cool work, I also have really big choices. And I have people coming from this angle, I have people like you that I just know. I know I can trust. I know I can say anything to, and I just
Absolutely.
know that they hold me in love. But then you have people that you're really unsure about, right? And you just don't you're not sure, and like you don't know, is it a fear of something, like what is that holding you back with that choice of that person. And so one of the things that I've also been doing this week is when I was like feeling unsure about something, I would take that, whatever it was that I was, whether it would be a job opportunity, like just today it was a job opportunity, right? And I'm feeling like, oh, maybe I should take it. It sounds really good. Like, as a massage therapist, we're like going all around the place. And so, real quick, I pulled that information in close to my heart. I breathed real quick through all down through my body, put my roots in the ground, and I was like, that job is not for me. Like that
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the beauty of it. And your radar on people becomes, look, people
sharp.
will come and go. And I wrote it a little bit the other day about as we level up and people fall away. But I noticed that in observation that people also use that as to mix apples and oranges because people just can't say that you just don't get it on with certain people. Just because you don't get it on with certain people
That's okay.
um, doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means
No.
your connection is just not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do all kinds of lie. Oh, my spiritual guides, or oh my, oh, because we're leveling up. Just because we're leveling up doesn't mean we're superior. And I think that what people are facing is not using the gut, like you said, or not using the moment to pull it all in because the answer
In.
will come to you. Whether you like that answer or not, it will come
Well,
to you.
and I never
And I
ever
think that that's
thought
an excellent point because you could use that in every situation and
every,
it will tell you
and I
what's
did it.
positive, what's negative, what's good, what's bad, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, look, we're learning. But I think what happens is when you finally get the lesson, you could, whatever it is that you're leaving or that you're encompassing, because it goes two ways, you could do it with understanding and fairness. But I think there's too much BS out there because people just don't know. So we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to say, look, there's a lot of things that I don't, didn't know, or I had to like learn, or
Yeah.
I didn't, I think what people, where they fall short is that this is ever evolving, and this is ever evolving. You want to be infinite, then infinite means you will keep going, right?
Forever,
And I
right?
think what happens is people pigeonhole themselves.
Yeah.
And we're going to change that, my lady. So people
Yeah.
like, if you guys want to know it, why Sarah? Because me and Sarah have a great relationship, but we don't hang every day. Our
Yeah.
thoughts are not influenced by each other.
No.
It is, we not only do we couple our spiritual givens, we also talk about the spiritual misgivings. But Sarah works her stuff. I know Sarah from way back. And there's a progress there, and she doesn't lie, and that's the key.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the key. Because it's really, could the humans say to people say, well, Teresa, you might be sticking it to people because, there's a lot of people that make a lot of money doing different things. I says, I'm not sticking it to anybody. Because
No.
if you're good at what you do and your heart is genuine, this is an enhancer. You should be coming together and working with one another. I says, if your
Yeah.
heart is that your demons are irritated, that's on you because I call on that power. I don't rely on that. I rely on the Jehovah, the Elohim, the El Shem within me. And I'm learning that more and more.
Yeah, as
So
you
you
do
had a
this.
busy day?
Yeah, yeah. And I've had also like I never think I'm better than anyone, right? So no matter what I've learned and no matter what I've done ever, like
Exactly. We're
I know
humble.
yeah, and I know that there are some like amazing people out there that like I haven't even met yet. And I know that there are some amazing people out there that I've met and connected to and like maybe fell apart from and that
Yes.
and maybe they went on their
Yes.
own path and like learned some really cool shit and like they come back into your life, right? And so I will never say like, oh, like no on you because of this or that. But the one thing about like really getting to know yourself is to know,
What you
all right,
want and what you don't want. Like some
right.
people could come back and it's cool, but other people's it's a no go.
It's
And
like we just
like you
don't
said,
vibe. I
it's
love you. I love what you do. I love
but
what
it's a
you've
no
learned.
go. Yeah.
I'm sending you love, but like I just don't fuck with
I
you.
can't. I
Like
don't
I
want to be
don't
bothered with that,
that's
because
not what I'm
look, honesty
creating.
is something when people use this as an excuse or they create things, I'm right out. Because in this kind of thing, if you're not if you're doing this and you're not clean, you're just as tainted as everybody else. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. That's not what I want.
No.
I'm not saying that I'm not human. I'm human. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I don't screw up. I screw up.
Me
I'm
too.
not saying any of those things, but I'm saying I am honest and humble. And I do know a thing or two, and I don't put it in people's faces. But to teach it is to put yourself on the line because now people are going to do this. That's all I
Yeah.
say.
Well, and I
You
just
know?
love what you're showing here, because like I do this kind of stuff in like groups or like with my friends one on one, just like really kind of slow stuff. And I really did get caught up in this whole Facebook world of like trying to be so fast and keep up with where everybody was. But like the truth of the matter is like they weren't even there. And my job really is to slow it down a little bit and just say, hold on, like, okay, I get it that you went to Pluto last night and like you did all kind of really crazy shit. But like, did you even breathe this morning?
No, no, they
And
don't.
and just say, and then like they don't know what to say, and then just say, all right, well that's okay. Call me back whenever you can breathe because I can feel that you haven't taken that time with yourself. I can feel that you're coming at me with information all over the place. So take yourself, go ground yourself, breathe, figure it out, and then we'll have a whole different conversation. And then
Amen.
when they come back around, if they come back around, it's a different conversation. If they don't, let them whatever they're running
Go. You
around.
have to go in
Yeah.
peace, love, and light. Go. And if look, ugly always comes out sooner or
Yeah.
later. And
Well, and
I'm
this
not
is
that kind
real.
of
Like
a
this is a
queen.
real
I'm a
meditation.
very
This
humble queen. I'm very smart. I will let you hang yourself in most cases. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
it is what it is. But don't lie. I don't like that. Just say the truth because there's a little wickedness out there, and I'm not cool with that. And that's why I'm doing this too. And that's why in this segment, because I'm going to bring it all out, everything that I've learned, girlfriend, and I've learned a lot throughout my life.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to learn more and I'm going to keep walking through those doors because if it's one thing, I love my kind. And I know my people are hurting and I know people are struggling and
Yeah.
I get it. And in my humanness, why not? Why not extend it?
Well, and
God
you're just
blesses you in so many other ways.
you're
So,
helping
my
me
lady,
so
I'm going to
much.
let you go because you have given me your time and you are a wonderful person, but I am also conscious of other people's well being. So, we pick this up. I'm interested to know as soon as you work this because she really does work it. She
Yeah.
works it on herself, she works it on people.
Well,
She's
and
like,
I
hey,
test
Teresa,
myself.
this is happening. That's
I
happening.
I
We
test
love it.
myself too. So like these sounds, these Elohim and Jehovah, like so I'm having a hard time with this, right? And so what I like to do is I like to test myself, and I like to say, all right, so I'm gonna get myself to the place, like this is my own personal thing of like where me and Teresa can do a video and like I can say it and like I can show you like the
Yes.
cracks in my voice or like how something else will like puff out at the end or something like that. And so it's like always making those things of like like you have to kind of like raise the bar on yourself. You have to kind of be the one to say, all right, like I'm gonna shoot for that today. And that doesn't mean that like if you miss, you suck. That just
You have to
means like,
practice it. You got to master it. And
yeah,
you can't master it just like that. That's why all
yeah,
that other stuff doesn't work. You
yeah,
have to work it. Do you know how much trial and error? And even now, it's like,
yeah.
because I'm doing other things now.
At the
So,
same time, I know.
what I pass on, I've already practiced that. That doesn't mean I don't keep tweaking it. I do. But now I'm on to something else, and I'm like, oh, and like all like I was like, oh, I gotta do it. I was like, oh, this is not happening. And then I like breathe in, and and I'm just like working things, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could see where this is, where doubt comes in. People think that I'm holy and I have to have faith. Well, you can't have faith when you were broken. You have to build faith. And how do we build faith, right? If everything is
It's like
always
working
going
out.
wrong, of course self-doubt is going to creep in. So we have to change self-doubt. Of course, the
Yeah.
fear is, guarantee you that no matter what it is, even if it's riding on an elevator and that scares people.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me my whole life.
All right. So now we want you to walk, and if you have to, you have no choice or
I
whatever.
was in one today. I was in one today.
Okay,
And
so
it's
the next time you're like, you have to use that breathing, and then you have
I
to
did it
create the
today.
thought.
I did it
Okay,
today in
I
there.
don't care what you create in your mind. I'm in a field and I'm on a magic carpet, and this is what the elevator
Well,
is,
and that's
but
what's
I'm
so
gonna
funny.
get
Like
there smoothly. You get what
you
I'm saying,
never
guys?
yes, yes. And like it's so funny that you related it to that. So when I was a little girl, me and my nana, who today was her birthday, we got stuck in an elevator and it was like hours.
It's
And they were like,
claustrophobic.
well, yeah, and they were like screaming through like the top thing. And like ever since I was a little kid, like when I have to get in the elevator, like I get in the elevator, I hold my breath, I get to where I need to go, and I get off and I go.
You're
And
like,
so my
and that shudder comes, though,
yeah,
right? You like
yeah, you're like
shudder inside.
like sweaty kind of like sweaty armpits and shit. And so my friend just moved and got this place, and so we're helping him. And he's in a wheelchair, so we're helping him. And so like I'm like in the position like where I have to be like a little bit tough. So I get in the elevator and all the time for 30 years, like that thing comes to my mind, and we have till number 3 to get to, and I didn't do all 12 or whatever. But instead of not breathing, I was like deep breathing, like,
Exactly.
and then when I got off, like I felt different. It wasn't you didn't get that shudder. Like I kind of like had like a new little like groove. Like oh, that wasn't that bad on the elevator.
Right.
Little stuff.
Exactly. Because I see a lot of our sisters and brothers suffering. You can
Yeah,
tell they are. And
yeah.
you can
And
tell, like,
anxiety could be that, like being on an elevator, anxiety of grief. Like these are just things that people called me about today. Grief, death, anxiety, partnerships, choices, COVID. These are just regular things, regular people, regular conversations, and they're
and
really
they're happening.
deep.
And they're happening,
Yeah,
and it is, how about the person who's struggling because, let's say, they were always put down, you're an idiot, or you're so stupid or whatever. That's a fear that comes into the person's mind. So how do you change that?
yeah.
I'm intelligent. You gotta,
I'm beautiful,
I
smart, I'm funny.
am worthy.
Yeah.
I am kind. I'm telling you guys, it does work. But
And then
again,
sometimes when you forget about it. Like I experienced sexual assault when I was younger. I didn't really tap back into that until I did some healing modalities, and then my family got mad about the healing modalities, and I kept trying to talk it out, and write letters and run from it. And I was doing all these different things. And then, like, I can't lie, like, this meditation came in and it was like a new project. I've been meditating.
It isn't it? Yes.
I've been teaching meditation classes. I've been doing all these things, but it came in like right when I needed it. And tonight I went to dinner with my whole entire family, and like a part of me this morning was like a little bit like,
Apprehensive, yeah.
yeah, like how is this day even gonna go? Like, oh my God. And like part of me wanted to reach out to the people that like knew already that it was kind of rough and like talk about it, but I was like, no, because just like everything carries a vibration, and that vibration is going to carry through to the end of my day. Why don't I just leave that alone, breathe, hang out with my friend, eat a cream puff, drink a coffee, spill it all over my car, do all this other stuff. And then, I went to dinner and it was better than I could have ever.
See? Because you're changing it, you already mentally changed it. You didn't put that vibration out to come back and haunt you. We're going to leave it at that, girlfriend, because that's, well, tomorrow I work a half day, but still, I'm still up early. But I'll be on this weekend and I'll be talking about other stuff. But these things are like because it will work. I'm telling you, it will work, especially that temple stuff. Your clients, especially somebody who's not feeling well, watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I love you. I'm thankful for you.
Thankful for you and gratitude.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And guys,
Thank
try
you
it. I'm
guys.
telling you,
Thank
it's
you guys for
easy.
joining
It's
us.
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.